Thank you everyone for attending our product demo. My name is Kristen Register. I'm the sales specialist for HTMjobs. So I connect with the employers, figure out their hiring needs, help pinpoint that, go over our posting options, get it live on the site.
And I'm Krieg. I am the recruiting specialist for HTMjobs. So I handle more of the candidate side, helping candidates find the perfect job for them. So we're just going to introduce HTMjobs to start. So this is a cool graphic showing where all of our candidates are throughout the U.S. So HTMjobs is a niche job board powered by TechNation. John Krieg, our president, found a need to create a centralized hub for the HTM community for employers to list their open positions and candidates to find open positions. At these shows, we were running into problems where we would have contacts that would come to us and say, hey, I have all these jobs I need to fill. I have no one to fill them. We had candidates coming up to us saying, I'm looking for a job and I don't know where to go. So HTMjobs was created out of that, and we've seen tremendous success in the short amount of time we've been live.
Yeah, so we post from anything from hospitals, healthcare management, OEMs, ISOs, and anything in between. Definitely more healthcare technology management and imaging. We're kind of filling into that as well. So anything that falls under radiology or any imaging equipment, we post for that as well. We've only, whoa, my gosh. Close your eyes. Yeah, there we go. So we've been up and running for about a year and a half now, so still fairly new, but even in the short amount of time, we've seen tons of growth. So we have over 1,400 qualified candidates registered to the site. That grows anywhere between 100 to 300 in a month, depending on how many listings that we can get. We've helped over 75 candidates either into the interviewing process or hired. Again, that grows as well as we connect with more candidates and use our in-person events like this to connect with people. And we have over 200 open positions listed on the site. Those positions are all across the US, same with our candidate pool and that graphic you saw in the beginning. You can see here, where's your next career opportunity? We have jobs in almost every state, even Hawaii and Alaska. I know as the pandemic's kind of hopefully coming to more normalcy, people are looking to relocate. That is one of the questions we ask when candidates register to the site, is if they're willing to relocate. So that's a great field for Sydney to go in and contact them if they're looking to move completely out of where they're originally located. And then where is the HTMjobs Talent Network? Again, we have candidates in every single state. So if you're looking for a job that is where your headquarters are, or if you have a base somewhere else, we are more than likely going to have a candidate near you.
There it goes again.
Have no idea why that's doing that. There we go. I might just click on the computer. So this is our pricing. We have a variation of different postings, ranges from a single job posting for 45 days. We wanted to do 45 days versus the average 30 days to give both the candidate and the employer more time. That comes with it posted by our team. So if you just provide some branding items and the job description, we get that up and running for you. We'll provide you login information for you to see it on the back end. Included in that as well as all of your jobs will be promoted on all of our social media platforms. Sydney will get more into that, but we do post on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And we do offer 2 different application methods. So you can post online with us. It's very enticing for candidates to want to apply. Simple name, email, message box, and a resume. That's a great way to pre-screen as well. You get an automated email saying that a new application has come through. You can even go in and accept and reject it. The other option is an external URL. So if you need them to go to your website and apply there, that's an option as well. The next step up would be the package of 5. It's virtually the same as a single posting, just you have 5 to use within 1 year. So if you have 3 current hiring needs and you have 2 down the road, that's a great option. And those are both flat rates. Then the next options are unlimited memberships. So if you have a large hiring need, we have 3, 6, and 12-month memberships. You can post as many jobs as you have available within that time period. The great thing about those is we do 1 featured employer listing to our talent network for the 3 month that is only promoting your company, your jobs. That goes out to the 1,400 registered to the site, as well as our TechNation subscriber list, which goes out to around 12,000 subscribers, and our ICE list, if it's imaging based, around 11,000 subscribers. So great advertising right there. We also have it featured in our TechNation and ICE magazines. Those run to print a little bit sooner than what typically 45 days would run. So since we have a lengthier amount of time with our memberships, that's a great way to get even more eyes. So if you have any more questions about this, my card is there and we can talk more. So that's the first half of kind of HTMjobs advertising, and Sydney will go into the recruiting piece.
Okay, so like Kristen said, we have a variety of recruiting options. So I'll get into the more generic one later, but this is our relatively new service. We're offering our recruiting services. We ran an ad in TechNation that said you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for recruiting services. Well, maybe just an arm. That was from John Krieg. He insisted that it would be in the magazine. So we offer something different from industry trends. We wanted to do a flat fee as opposed to a percentage of your first year salary. So we asked for a $250 retainer fee upfront. So that is just to get your job posted, the initial sourcing efforts, initial advertising efforts to attract candidates. And then we offer for non-management roles $3,000 placement fee. So once the candidate that we provide you is if he or she accepts the offer, then you'll be invoiced, and we have a 90-day guarantee. So if for some reason the candidate leaves under any circumstances, we at no extra cost will find you new candidates. And then that's $5,000 for management position, and that's for replacement. So the recruiting services offer a little bit of a more specialized touch as opposed to just listing your jobs on HTMjobs. We kind of go the extra mile. We will source through our TechNation subscribers, our ICE subscribers, our talent network, and additionally our LinkedIn. We use LinkedIn Recruiter to find people that might not necessarily know about HTMjobs yet. We get them to our site, we get them to apply for your positions. Employers can ask us any pre-screening questions that they want to ask, whether it be salary ranges or experience on specific modalities, anything like that, where we will definitely ask. Employers have had really good success with recruiting services if it might be a more specialized field you're looking to find a candidate for, or it might be a difficult location to attract candidates to. So this is our more specialized option, and then we'll get into the more generic recruiting services we do. So with every job posting that you purchase through Kristen, you will go through these steps to find the candidates for you. So you'll get everything squared away with Kristen. We'll get your job listed on HTMjobs. We create a personalized employer profile for you where you can go in and view all of your listings that you have with us. You can accept and reject applications, and it's kind of a nice way to be able to see our site through the employer's eyes. But whether you're listing with us or looking for a job, on our site you can sort through all of our listings like you can see on that side of the screen. You can sort through by keywords, by job titles, by location, anything like that. We wanted to make it really easy for you to find your next opportunity. And then on my side of things, we'll then source candidates for you. So we do our basic advertising and social media efforts, but then we kind of go in, and Chris and I have a really personalized relationship with a lot of our candidates. So we know when specific candidates are looking for certain opportunities, so we'll reach out to them directly. We like to go the extra mile to make sure that we're finding the perfect candidates for you. From that point on, then we will encourage them to apply for your position, or they'll do it on their own based on seeing the listings or browsing themselves. We make sure we look through all the applications. Like Kristen said, an application resume does not cross our eyes before you guys see it. So we really wanted to make sure that we're providing quality candidates as opposed to any other generic platforms where you sometimes maybe get a lot of people applying for your positions, but it might not be specialized to the jobs you're looking to fill. So like I said, we look through resumes, we look through the applications, and then from that point on, we send them on to you, and you'll move forward with the interview and hire. So we wanted to explain a little bit how HTMjobs is different from other job platforms. Like we said, it's a more personalized touch. It's Kristen and I running the show here. So we're at all of the shows that MD Expo puts on. We're behind the booth, we're talking to employers, we're connecting with candidates. We're listening to not only the employer struggles, but also the candidate struggles, especially during this pandemic. both sides of the spectrum have had a lot of difficulties. We want to make sure that we're solving that problem. So we offer a personalized touch. Like I said, we hand source candidates. All of them go through our eyes. All of them are seen by us before you see them. Reviewed resumes and applications. And when you join HTMjobs, you additionally join an expansive network of TechNation and all of the platforms we offer. So like we said, we're powered by TechNation, and we attend the expos, we source candidates through all of our subscribers and platforms, and we're also on social media. So in addition to our expansive network, you can find HTMjobs on almost all social media platforms. We put a little card in front of your place setting that has all the handles for social media if you want to give us a follow. For our social media pages, we post daily on those. So we post our newest employers, we feature specific listings, we do regional highlights. TechNation does Opportunity Tuesdays where they highlight our positions that we have on the site. We wanted to find an easy way for people to stay connected, stay up to date on the newest listings. In addition to LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, we do an e-newsletter that goes out every Thursday. Highlights similarly what we do on social media, but that is featured employers, that is the newest listings in your area, things like that. And then additionally, we have a feature on HTMjobs where you can set parameters if you're a candidate. If you are looking for a PMET2 position in the Southwest, you can set those parameters and get email notifications so that you're constantly staying up to date, and we wanted to provide a really easy way for you to apply for jobs and find your next opportunity. So we didn't really get too far into the registration process because that's where our new partnership with SkillNet is, but as a candidate, it's completely free to register and user-friendly. So we'll get into that with Mike, but wanted to see if anyone had any questions before we segue over to the next part.
We can also put, if you want to connect with us on LinkedIn, you can scan our QR codes.
Pretty fancy.
Pretty fancy. Technology.
Okay, we'll segue over into Monty, who's going to explain our partnership here.
I'll speak up. So my name's Monty Gonzalez. I'm the president of the College of Biomedical Equipment Technology. And I'm going to explain how I fit into this little piece here for this group. But before I do, if I can just kind of get an understanding of where everybody's from, which organizations you represent, if you don't mind.
Repimid.
Okay.
Hero for the Biomed.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm unemployed.
We need you, right? Okay. Intermountain. From where, sir?
Innovations.
Okay. Okay, great. So just so I can kind of gauge the audience and know who I'm talking to or speaking with, I'll start by saying I'm a retired Army officer. I've only spent about the last 4 years in this industry, and it's fascinating. I've learned a lot over the last few years, and one of the things that I've learned that's really come out is that there are a handful of people in this industry that really are making huge changes. You've probably seen them, and you know who you can trust, and relationships of trust to me are the most important thing that you can form. That's the premise for all of our business relationships. What drove us to HTMjobs and MD Expo as a partner is really the people, not necessarily the company or the systems or whatever. It's about the people. We like to work with good people, and we will only work with good people. I think that's a good, strong business position to take. I should also say that the attractive, smart ladies should have went at the end of this conversation to keep everybody engaged instead of at the start. But the old ugly guys will go last. That's fine.
Hey.
I'm in the middle somewhere. But so, here's how I wedged us in here. So I'm in the education business. We have associate degree certificate programs for biomedical equipment technicians. And we're unveiling at this very expo our new imaging academy, where we're going to offer imaging training in 2 locations, one in Atlanta, Georgia, and one here in Henderson. So we're excited about all this education. We have students going through our school every year. This year we'll produce about 200 biomeds nationally. Every one of them are leaving our school either looking to get promoted or looking to get a job. And we have about an 85 to 90% job placement rate on our program graduates. But what we did was we said to ourselves, how can we turn this cost center where we're paying a career services guy to help everyone create a resume, standardize a resume, connect them to great employers that we trust and feel comfortable connecting our students to, because our reputation is who we deliver to the industry. And for the industry, you know, there's a connection there. We want to get that right. So again, back to relationship of trust, we turned to TechNation, MD Expo, and HTMjobs and said, we like what you guys are doing on the job placement side. We would like to add more value to that. I happen to know a fantastic guy who's developed this innovative software that we're incorporating into the college to help us develop experiential resumes, so that a student, when they matriculate through our program, has an opportunity to both demonstrate and capture skills, particular skills, experiences, knowledge, so that when they graduate the college, they leave the college not only with a degree and a transcript, but they also leave with a resume that's been validated. Much like an official transcript coming from an institution, this resume has been validated. I've worked as a hiring manager before with Northrop Grumman, my first job out of the Army, which I hated, by the way. And in that job, I had to sort through stacks of resumes, old school. It was horrible, and they're still doing that today. That's still the way. If you guys are working as hiring managers, you know that that's the case. You get stacks of resumes or emails, and you have to go through it all, and you have to figure out which one's right and sort it. And then when you get the resume that looks great, you're like, I wonder how much of that's actually true. So what we've said is, how can we produce a resume that's attached to a student that's been validated and at least gives you some idea of as to the veracity of that document, so that when you make that first call and you talk to that individual, you have an idea of what you're dealing with. And so there's a higher degree of confidence when you participate in the hiring process. So there's a couple other value pieces I wanted to take in there, but the biggest thing was really it's about, again, goes back to relationships of trust. And if I'm hiring people and I need good solid biomeds, I want to be able to trust the information that I'm receiving. So what we've said to HTMjobs is that to the degree that we're capable of doing so, we want to be able to hand you students with resumes that are validated, that demonstrate the actual skill sets that have been verified either by educators or prior employers. And then when you get that resume, you don't have to spend hours dealing with the, I don't know, how many did you say per month that you're getting?
Per month applications, over 100.
Right, so 100, it's impossible, it's too much, you can't do that. So we're trying to reduce that a little bit, innovate in terms of how we're doing it, and then delivering to the industry the best product that we can with some degree of confidence. So at that point, Mike, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We have open circuit program. 8 courses. So we're a little bit different model. So ours a little bit more started. That's why we're here. So the way our school is designed, it's an online program. Our school is successful because of our strong partnerships, and so many of the companies that you work with, partnered with you in the past, Intermountain, and the students go through our entire programs, and in those programs, our partnership at 6 weeks and an internship with that facility. They will get the guide hands-on evaluation and training, whatever other requirements are necessary to bridge that environment. That employer doesn't actually value your skills or student. A lot of our students get hired right out of the internship. Satisfied. Our instructors, the average education level pressure just under a master's degree now. The majority of them come to us not as academics, but as industry. So our instructor group, they are HTM professional, biomed techs, imaging techs, real experience that can take the theoretical. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of people trying to find some of the classes, but offer classes. Biomed is just a small public essentially. Yeah, so I agree with that. So, like, it's the reverse is true too. So, I call it low density, populations, but very more traditional school, really saturated in that program become no longer. Costs of running that program. So, a lot of times I struggle with, I need 30, 40 students seats in order to make this program financially. But we don't have that problem because we're online. So we have our 200 graduates all over. I got a student in Pittsburgh, all across the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, very diverse student population. They have a huge number of their population. Very active in skill rich program. The way that works is when service members in the last 6 months, they come to us, we give them hands-on training. During that 6-month window, we are actively looking for partners like you that are willing to take a bet on work with them for 6 months. During that 6-month window, this is going to shock you. Pivoted my federal law, paying that because they're already receiving their full-time activity benefits, and they are still actually serving. So during that 6-month window, really get a first shot at really a high quality talent. Talking about biomedics, guys are transferable skill set. Start the guys with the right skill sets, right attitude. It's a 6-month opportunity to determine if that's the right thing. During the time that they're with 6 months, we go into the city. By us, you're getting a handbook training. You're not doing the skill bridge now. I can talk about it all day. Yeah, 30 active skill bridge students. So, you're looking for that kind of talent, but you want that connection.
I jump in. Step one. It's not good master to identify who I was. Marty knows me. I'm Shane Reader, charter college family institution. I was in here. Part of that is in the registered model, where we act as an intermediary on the apprenticeship, and then Marty's school provides instruction, so that we work closely with actually the employer, and we understand the ebb and flow of no jobs, absolute need for jobs, and that's one of the challenges. We run into a charter college, and Marty runs into a CBET, is that ebb and flow. His programs are all online, so yes, a broader reach. Ours are a hybrid model, so we're kind of clustered in some geography. So we created the apprenticeship model so we can be everywhere. We're doing national standards so that we can be in all states to build apprenticeship with the employer, bringing in that instruction from Marty school.
And one thing that I also loved during my college Shane is that we also worked together to establish a 4-year HTM career. And I will say there are some other college universities out there that have year experience. One of the things that's made us really successful are our job placement, our work in the industry. Our programs are not enough, and they reflect this group. Each partner with the industry directly, and we learn from the partnership, our changes constant, stay current with the needs of you education. A lot of the school, I'm not school, a lot of the struggle that we deal with is the inability to change and evolve quickly to stay current. constantly engaging with industry. Change meeting, a great example is feedback from agility last month. It's lacked a level of understanding and knowledge. Yes. Very hypersensitive stuff, but immediately turned our attention to that, changed the curriculum. It's just, I understand something. This song is great. Yeah, but and that's true. You can react to everything, but that's the way we think and work. But I want to make sure we serve students first, and the industry.
Well, I just want to make sure I understood. Anyway, are you saying you have the academic side, and then it's an apprenticeship program, how you that as part of the education?
Well, yes, we have what Shane described as an apprenticeship program. We do support an apprenticeship program. Through our work with Charter College, they recently set up an apprenticeship. That is a competency-based apprenticeship model. And the way that works is want to participate in the apprenticeship, partner with us, and the student goes into the apprenticeship program, and then our college will provide them the training instruction.
So if I was a, say I want to have one student.
Absolutely. Yeah, we
So it's
will help.
any apprenticeship.
Yeah, we will help fund that out. It could be,
From your,
it could be, or it could be someone, you say, hey, I found a guy who's a plumber. Like he's got the right people skills, he's got everything going on. That's the guy I want. Organization. Can we put him into the, absolutely, that's a decision you make. If you have a student and you find the right talent, but he's got education skills, if you're willing to invest in him, the time it takes to get his skills and education, and part of the apprenticeship program. And it's a fantastic pathway. Apprenticeship's been around for a long time.
used to be quite stable.
I call them constants, but one of the rich labor pools in apprenticeship right now is the displaced worker from COVID that's been working food service or retail. They've got good customer service strengths. They're probably mid-40s to mid-50s. They've been displaced. They're not going back, but they don't want to go pay the freight to be educated. So apprenticeship lets them learn what they learn. It has that relationship between the data instruction provider and the student as the apprentice. And what we do is we broker that whole triangle together. That's what our role is.
Last thing real question, I have to turn it over to you, Mike. I just want to point out that this was intended to be a software sort of demo. We've navigated a little bit off, but Mike's going to bring us back home. As you're listening to Mike's presentation, there's a couple of challenges you to do. One, look at it as malleable. I love throwing my friends under the bus, but Mike has created here that's going to integrate with HTMjobs. Is a moving target, and we're still getting it right. He says that we're not right. So you see something in here that you think can help it. Please let us know. If you're still adjusting fire to get onto the target, active. Anything with providing feedback nonstop. Mike's team's been adjusting stuff and adjusting. It's a great way to education, history, software, stacks of paper, give you some confidence seeing it.
That's kind of the beauty of software. It's never done. All right. Well, greetings. I think I'm out of time. So did you like my presentation? I was planning to go for 10 or 15, but I'm going to try to boil it down to 5 because I know everybody's got a schedule.
You have 27.
Oh, okay. I thought we were more strict about it. That's great. My name is Mike Kritzman. I'm the CEO and founder of a software company called SkillNet. And we're very excited about our partnership with Monty. He talked about that a little bit, and HTMjobs is moving their onboarding process for candidates from a less flexible system to our system, which is uber flexible, and we're excited about how we're making both better. And that's why I had this title slide called SkillNet Powering. I think we're all familiar with the concept of training and learning, and you get into these programs to build more skills and knowledge. But it's odd that most companies, most employers, most colleges don't really know what skills and knowledge people have. They just know what grades they got on courses. And so from that standpoint, what we're doing is kind of a new frontier. So I thought I'd start by saying what SkillNet does, and I'll be brief, and we measure and validate what skills a person has. The way that we validate it is we ask a person, what do they think of themselves? And then we ask somebody else who knows them, was that accurate? And you might think, well, that might all be subjective and a test might be more accurate. But I think there are pros and cons to both. But you might base a test but still not be able to do, or our theory is if you feel confident and others have seen you shine at it, then it's pretty good evidence that you know how to do that thing. And I think biotech industry is a perfect playground for the kind of stuff that we do, because there's so many things to know. And getting it right could be life or death. So it's no small thing. We use those skill assessments to identify where someone has strengths, but also where they have gaps. And then we can provide a personalized learning path for fixing the gaps. So if I was meeting you at a cocktail party, I like to say I'm the skill guy, and find and fix skill gaps. And so if there's anything you remember about what I'm talking about today, maybe that would be it. And then we put frosting on top, and we've got certifications or badges that help people feel like their accomplishments have been recognized. There we go. Thanks. But let's give it another try.
Try.
Yeah.
I can do it.
One thing I wanted to say is we've got a bunch of different modules, and this probably a 2016 vision to be able to see it. I'd say that for today, I'm just going to skip what that is, but there's a lot of different parts of the software that come together to help us get this right. This next slide, if I was fancy with slides, I might have had those little call outs come out one at a time. But what we're trying to say is you've got the workforce, the pool of people who are in the business. We call them HTM talent. And then CBIT might take raw talent and, like a factory, turn them into a finished good. Shane does that too. And then HTMjobs will help them go get placed at an employer. And then employers now care and feeding for that individual, and hopefully they're happy with the people they've hired and want to continue to develop them as new products and advancements come out. So I'd say CBIT takes raw materials and turns them into job ready. HTM is connecting qualified candidates, carefully screened to go get jobs with employers, and then employers are trying to figure out who's in our workforce and how do we optimize the team that we've hired. And so I'd say SkillNet creates and manages these knowledge profiles. It's valid for everyone. It's valid for that whole workflow. Skills is it's an interesting thing. I, in my career, had worked at Oracle and Ernst & Young and been around some fantastically smart people, but it was always like tribal knowledge. There wasn't really a database of who the smartest or best people were at various things. And one of my new friends worked at McKinsey, and she told me that McKinsey was the same way. McKinsey's the strategy consulting firm, the smartest people in the world, pays $700 or $800 an hour for these people to show up. And to find the right people, it's always they're just calling people around trying to find out who's who. So I could go on, but skill data is in short supply in most places. And Kristen, maybe you could help.
Yes.
Next slide is just going to be some of our other customers. We're not a new kid in town. And
I'll sit.
yeah, thank you. We're really proud of our work and super excited about getting involved in healthcare. One of my big plans was to apply our technology to healthcare where it could save lives, and I think this is a wonderful opportunity. So the benefits of what we think we can provide is we think everybody wins. So employees, people who are trying to get jobs are going to have better chances because now what they know is going to be more concrete. Educators are going to be able to get more of their students hired because the students are packaged better, if you will. And then employers are going to get, like trying to figure out who somebody is in an interview or off a resume is hard. We're trying to pull that curtain back and really make it more obvious. What's the profile and capabilities of that individual so there's no surprises. So here's an example, of what HTM will be able to do now that they're SkillNet powered is they'll be able to have do an online search and key in these, like I want this certification in this region, that degree with that number of years of experience working on this kind of equipment. And SkillNet will reduce down in seconds, give them, and I've got a screenshot of one of the reports, but it's those kind of advanced queries that's tough, and we make it easy. So from a candidate standpoint, we think that they'll be excited about this because they'll be able to create this searchable experiential resume and keep it with them for life. The only thing like it that I've found is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn's kind of a funny thing because I could go change my LinkedIn profile tomorrow and say that I'm an orthopedic surgeon. And within a few weeks, I would have endorsements on what a good surgeon I was because there's people are trying to prop me up to sell me stuff. And we're trying to get it right and make it really valid and true. Part of it is going to be online resources through CVIT and other sources that they'll be able to access for life. And it's going to be free to them for life. Onboarding is going to be very similar to the current HTMjobs model today, which is pretty darn easy. And so an employee would just fill out these attributes. It'll go into the database. As you heard, they're thinking of more attributes now that they're starting to smell what they can do. And it's easy for us to add. And so then, future things might be added. But the important thing is that the employees fill out all the parts of the questionnaire so that when the searches are done, they'll pop up and not be omitted. This is a picture of the experiential transcript, and I could spend 20 minutes on this alone, but I'm just going to make a couple of key points. It's a very personal record. So here's the certifications. Here's the experiences that have potentially been verified. And an experience might be, I worked on this MRI machine at this hospital as part of an internship or an externship, and I worked for Steve, and I think I learned how to do a great job maintaining it. And then Steve would get an email and say, how did Mike do on maintaining that equipment? And then Steve would give him a rating, and the rating would sort of designate that, Steve, that I really have that skill. And then there's what education, of course, and then we even track what learning's being done and what job experiences people have had, trying to put all the pieces together to give a full view of that individual's know-how. Here's that report that I was talking about in the filters, and this filters is sort of a growing list, and girls just came up with a couple more last week, but it's all good. Next. And then as we get more into skills, which we haven't done so much yet, as we get more into skills, we'll be able to say which machine, what software rev, really dial it in so that the employers can get somebody who can hit the ground running on their equipment profile, which varies from system to system. This concept I talked about before of personalized learning, personalized education based on gaps is another sort of bigger topic. But I would just say that each individual is part of their profile. The automation is in the background creating, well, what does that person need to learn, and coming up with a to-do list for their learning that has been dialed in just for them based on where they weren't rated as high as employers may wish. And we're excited that this is going to lead to an employer version that we think the hospitals and systems may be interested in using this kind of capability for managing their own workforce. And so thanks for your attention. Any questions? I'm happy to stay up. Thanks.